Hi everyone, and welcome to my week 6 update. Wow, I can't believe it. 6 months has just sailed by. I remember sitting here just over 6 months ago recording my introduction video to my YouTube channel, explaining who I was and the path to remission program that I was about to embark on. I remember 6 months ago, pretty much to the day, where I took my last metformin tablet and I put it in the drawer in front of me. I remember the hunger sensations I felt when I started taking those shakes and the headaches that I was going through. But I also remember the huge amount of weight loss I did. It was pretty much 10 kilo in the first week. And man, that's a lot of weight, and it certainly took it out of me. So here I am, 6 months later after I started on this journey, and I'm just coming to the end of my 4-week reset program. And how do I feel it's gone? Well, if we just look at the big picture, I started off approximately 160 kilos. And as of now, I've lost 16 and a bit kilos. So that's just over 10% of my body weight in 6 months. And I am really, really proud of myself. Now, let's be frank, I did lose more and I put it back on. But that is how the world works. And when I started out this program, I was apprehensive because I wasn't sure whether this program would cater to the needs of someone like me who is, I'll be honest, a little bit lazy when it comes to food prep, who would go for the quick option rather than the healthy option. And that is something that I'm dealing with. So, back to current day. I'm approaching the end of my 4-week reset program, and I've got 3 weeks to slowly reintroduce food into my diet. And am I prepared for that? I'm more prepared than I was last time. My wife is starting a diet of her own, so that helps me as well. We've got someone to bounce healthy ideas of food off. I mean, admittedly, for the first week I'm on 3 shakes and then 2 shakes and then 1 shake. So I do have another 3 weeks or so to figure out exactly. I have one more call with a coach before I'm let loose on food again, and I've just ordered my replacement shakes and they will be here. Fortunately, they're in sachet form, so if I'm traveling, it's August in the UK, so we have typically holidays here. So if I go away traveling, I can at least take a couple of shakes with me rather than a big old bag of food. But it's only 3 weeks. During my call with my coach, I did mention about could I stay on a form of shake, like a form of ready meal in shake form. And while the coach understood where I was coming from a healthcare professional perspective, she didn't support it, and I get that, I understand that. So I don't know whether I will follow that path or whether, as I said, I'll just have to go back to preparing salads and boiled eggs and omelettes and stuff like that. I don't mind that. I'm looking forward to going back on fruit and fresh food and healthy food. It's just whether I go completely off the rails like I did first time around. I hope not. So here I am, 6 months down the line, and I've gathered a few questions I've been asked over the weeks and months, and I'm just going to go through a few of them now. Oh, before I go any further, I know I said that I was going to start doing my training for my park run. Haven't done it this week, the weather's been terrible, but I promise you, hand on heart, I will record a video of me out walking or jogging within the next couple of weeks. I promise you that. So, let's have a quick look at these questions and try and answer a few. How am I finding the program so far? It's a difficult answer, if I'm being quite blunt. The first few weeks I found quite good, having regular check-ins with my coach, having to go onto the app and submit my readings, so my blood sugar and my weight and blood pressure. I found that quite informative, but I found that over time the pressure of having to put these readings in, particularly if you remember when I started telling you my results, it was like the first week I lost a lot and then a little bit less and then a little bit less, and it started to plateau, and then it went from feeling positive to feeling pressured, and that's that's something that I have issues with. If I start feeling pressured to do something, then something in my brain just clicks and it makes me go, oh, hang on, this isn't good. This doesn't feel as right. And yes, it's nice to have these calls with the coach and feel accountable to someone. But after a while, it went from feeling supported to, at least in my mind, feeling pressured to lose weight. And I think I said that in my videos at the time, that I started to feel a bit disappointed that I wasn't losing as much weight. And then that's probably why at the end of the 12 weeks the first thing I did was have a bit of a food binge and back where I am. But as I've said, this isn't a diet, and my brain was hardwired to think diet, but it's not. It's a lifestyle change. It's all about preparing yourself to basically live the rest of your life in a more healthier way, to put your diabetes into remission. Now, the other thing that I found very difficult with this program was the training. So on the app you go in and there's a list of these training courses that are unlocked after a period of time, and some of them were very dry. And bear in mind, you're doing this on a phone, so you've got your app and you're scrolling through and you basically have to click on something. I would rather have had something like a podcast that I could listen to, or have the option of a podcast or a video or something that I could watch or I could listen to, be it on my computer or on my phone, or listen to while I'm driving or walking or whatever, so that I'm getting the knowledge, as opposed to click on this. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? What is this for? What is that for? What is that for? And it's like, you know what? It made me disengage with the process ever so slightly. And back to the coaches for a second. Now, a course is as good as its coaches, and for the most part, the coaches are fantastic. However, there was one instance midway through the 12 weeks, or the initial 12 weeks, when I was speaking to a coach and I could hear them eating food in the background. And that was not cool. That was really not cool for me. I'm doing my best to avoid the temptation of eating food, and I can hear in the background, and that was not fair. Not much more I can say about that. So I am now concerned that moving into the final 6 months of this program, after my last couple of coach calls that I've got coming up, it will then go to monthly, and it will then purely be online or on the app based training for the last 6 months. And I don't really engage with that. I find that difficult, so I don't know how the future's going to pan out. But at the moment, I would say it's been a mostly positive experience, but your mileage may vary. And if you're having issues with your coach, I suggest you contact your provider and change your coach. How did I cope with the diet? So, how did I cope with the diet? Well, for the first few weeks, I was really, really good. I was fortunate that I was able to test the product beforehand, and I managed to settle on the shakes that I liked. I know some providers, they offer you things like porridge, and I've even spoken to someone who gets offered a cheat day every so often. It's like making me hungry, so I'm still not eating. Offering them a cheat day. And it's like, why wasn't I offered a cheat day? Why wasn't I allowed things like that? But anyway, how did I cope? I struggled. I really did. I was fortunate that the products I liked, but I found ways to cope, and I basically drank as much fluid as I can. Chewing gum was my best friend as well. It got me through some dark moments. But as you know, there were times, even during this 4-week reset program, that I ate something, and I felt really bad about it at the time. But I've come to terms with it, and I've realised that, in the real world, you're going to have slip-ups, and you're going to have reasons and things like that to eat things. I mean, for me, I wonder if this program would be more effective if you had like 6 weeks on and 6 weeks off, or 4 lots of 4 weeks on a total diet replacement, and then 4 weeks basically petering off, and then 4 weeks of normality, and you repeat that during the course of the year. Because for me, it seems like the weight loss element of it, the total diet replacement, is shoved right at the beginning. And 12 weeks, 3 months, that's a long time for you not to have flavour in your mouth and texture in your mouth. Now, that's partially my fault for going for the shakes and not the soups. And as I said, some of the other providers, they do offer different products as well. But for me, 12 weeks was really, really long time. I did it, but I just wish it could have been shaped slightly differently. How much weight did I lose? So, how much weight did I actually lose? So, during the first week, I lost 10 kilos, which was mostly water. And then it went down to losing perhaps 2 or 3 kilos a week for the remaining 11 weeks. So in total, I lost 26 kilos. However, the minute I stopped taking the shakes and went back onto eating normal food, I put on 10 kilos. Now that was over the course of a good couple of months, so it wasn't like one big meal. But it just goes to show how the course didn't cater to my needs. It just showed me rather, how the food was a more important part of my life than I realised. And it was something that I still need to address now. I am better, and as I said, I've got a couple more weeks left of reintroducing food into my diet, so that's something I'm going to have to work on. But the good thing is I have now lost most of that weight, so I am a lot lighter than I was before, and yeah, I'm really happy with my weight loss so far. How do I know if this program is right for me? That's a really easy question to answer. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Because if you don't do it, then you might find that you are not offered the opportunity to do this again by your GP. Now, I'm referring to people who are diabetic and are offered the Pathway to Remission program. And remember, this is about changing your lifestyle and doing your best to reduce some of the nastier side effects that diabetes can have on you and prevent and possibly even lead you to going into remission. Now, I don't know if I'm in remission yet. I really hope I am, or I will be by the end of these 12 months. And that is something that I am working on. But it's not easy. 12 weeks is a long time to go on total diet replacement. And it's not just these 12 weeks, it's the lifestyle changes that you need to put in. But if you are determined and motivated, then you can seriously lose some weight and improve your health. And don't put yourself under too much pressure. Just consider it a change. And being realistic, if you are in a situation where you know your lifestyle is not able to change because of real world things going on, then perhaps ask if you can start it in 3 months or 6 months time. But I definitely encourage anyone who's diabetic to ask their GP about the Path to Remission program. Do I have any regrets? Yes, I do. When I came back from vacation after my 12-week total diet replacement, my exercise level dropped off dramatically, and I got complacent with food, and my weight slowly started creeping up because I was eating more and exercising less, which to me also shows that exercising was just as an important part of my weight loss as the shakes were. So, any regrets? Yes, I wish I'd exercised more, and I wish I had better control of my diet. Now, I'm coming to the end of my 4 weeks reset program, and I've said earlier in the video that I want to start exercising more, and I want to do a park run by the end of the summer. So yeah, that is what I'm aiming for. So I will start exercising, and as I said earlier, I do hope my next video, or one of the videos following up, will be while I'm out walking, and I'm looking forward to that. Alright, I'll end this video here for now. Thank you very much for watching and being along my journey and my path to remission. And I will see you on my next video where I start the second half of this program. Take care everyone, have a good day. Bye.